Well, MG Squared is a veteran-owned company founded in 1986 based out of Birmingham, Alabama, and MG Squared was developed in mind with providing innovative solutions to the transportation marketplace, and in particular innovative products. And in that business, we became aware of the deployment of surveillance cameras all across the nation's highways. And these cameras were designed to improve traffic flow and traffic management, but they didn't have a means and a way to maintain these cameras effectively and efficiently. Well, this product was initially designed for the transportation authorities, the Department of Transportations across the U.S. We have thousands of them in that marketplace. And because of that, we were brought then into the security marketplace, and in the first place was by the U.S. Customs Service. They had an application at a port of entry where they needed to be able to maintain both their cameras as well as their light fixtures quickly and efficiently without being subjected or restrained by the availability of the local bucket truck. From that application with U.S. Customs, we then moved to the next step in Homeland Security and working with the Department of Homeland Security as well as the Department of Defense in doing a couple of military-based perimeter security installations, as well as wastewater treatment facility, perimeter surveillance protection programs, and power station protection programs. The way it works is a standard non-technical operator can take a portable winch out of the back of a pickup truck, affix it to his pole structure with a bolt, take his lowering cable, feed it up and attach it to the lowering cable inside of the pole, and now he's ready to maintain the product without having to get a lift truck on the scene. He simply takes and he cranks his lowering crank up a half a crank, and that disconnects the latch mechanism inside the bell housing, and then he backs back off of his winch and allows the connector to disconnect, bring his camera to ground level, at which point he can do all of his maintenance with both feet on the ground, simply, efficiently, and very quickly. When the operator is done doing his maintenance, he simply goes back to his winch. He can do it with both a manual hand crank or an electric drill motor, and then he simply cranks it back up. The system will find its home position every time and go back in the exact same position so that the camera is always orientated in the configuration that the designer had planned. Takes it up till it won't go any further. It is now latched in place. He backs back off the latch, tensions off the cable. He then detaches his winch cable from the lowering cable, removes his winch from the pole, places it in the back of the pickup truck, and now he is done. And what would take normally a minimum of an hour to 6 hours to do maintenance, he's now done it in 10 to 15 minutes. One of the key benefits this brings to the security world and the security marketplace is the ability now to mount cameras much higher than you typically would. Typically cameras were mounted only 40 or 50 feet, and you have a limited area of view at that height. With a lowering system, you can now mount your cameras up 60, 70, 80, 100 feet, increase what your camera can see, and thereby extend your virtual perimeter without sacrificing maintainability. In fact, with a lowering device, you increase your maintainability while you're also gaining more performance out of your camera at a greater height. One of the key components to the lowering device is the electrical contact assembly. This is the heart of the disconnect unit. This is what can make and break a lowering device. MG Squared, when we came up with the design, we chose to incorporate the contact mechanism with a military-grade connector. And you've got the O-rings at the base of each individual pin, which then seal as they go into the female part of the connector block. Each of those O-rings prevents any type of moisture or contaminants from getting to each individual pin, thereby making the connector as durable as it possibly can to continue to perform in the harshest weather conditions that are out there. Mechanically, the way this works is best displayed with this sample. This is what you're seeing inside of the bell housing at the top. The connector mechanism operates mechanically. You've got latches on both sides that secure it in place when it's in the latch position. And in the way it works is the operator is cranking up on the winch, which causes the locking cams to travel through the locking maze in that fashion. It is now unlatched, ready to be lowered, and it disconnects. The operator cranks the device back up, it goes back up, finds home position every time, ensuring the camera is always orientated in the manner in which it was installed, goes back up till it can't go any further, and then the operator backs back off of the winch, it locks in place, and now we have a connector that is both electrically and mechanically engaged and rated for 130-mile-an-hour winds.